teams, and I've coached every age group from 8U all the way up to 17U national teams. And so basically everything we do is based on kind of my study and research. All of our coaches kind of follow the same program. And the one thing that we start with when we talk with our coaches and when our players is what we call the first principles. And so the first principles is basically the basic truths or elements of anything. And Elon Musk used first principles thinking to create SpaceX, which is kind of how I first learned about this process. So what Elon Musk did is he decided he wanted to take human beings to Mars. And what he did is he decided, I want to find out how to actually get there. I need to get a rocket in order to get to the moon. So when he decided to get a rocket, he tried to figure out how much it would cost to buy one. And he went to the US government and to Russia and to other countries and found that it was hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So he used first principles thinking to think, okay, so what does it actually take to construct a rocket? Like, what are the materials? We need so many tons of space grade, like aluminum or titanium. You need this much fuel. And when he found out after like sourcing all of the actual physical ingredients to build a rocket, that the cost to build it is only 2% of the entire cost. And most of what you're paying for is the engineering. And he thought, well, I can do that for a whole lot cheaper, and SpaceX was born. So for us, the way that we uncover the truths about hitting is to ask very basic questions. And the first question is, what type of batted ball yields the best results? Because we should be chasing whatever that batted ball is as a basis for how we teach hitting. The second is that we need to figure out what skills the hitter needs to develop in order to be successful in the game of baseball. So when we asked ourselves what type of batted ball yields the best results, and I did my research, I started looking at data like this. And this is basically an exit velocity breakdown. Exit velocity is just a fancy word for ball speed off the bat. And what we find is that the harder the ball is hit, the higher the batting average is. And it seems like a very simple concept, but the game of baseball, the way it's taught in the United States, is predominantly just don't strike out. Just put the ball in play, stay within yourself. And what we have to realize is that at all levels, the harder we hit the ball, the more chances we have for success. And we should base that as the primary foundation of what we're trying to do. A ball hit between 95 to 99 miles an hour has a batting average of almost 400. And I'm not considering what type of batted ball that is, whether it is a ground ball, whether it is a fly ball, or whether it is a line drive. Simply a hard hit ball has a better chance for dropping for a base hit than a ball that's hit softer. It's very basic. Here's another chart for batting average and slugging by exit velocity. So as the batting averages go up, you'll see that the exit velocity goes up. As exit velocity goes up, you have more chances for extra base hits, your doubles, triples, and your home runs. I've been fortunate to meet Jim Rakan, who's the hitting coordinator for the Indians. And when they looked at all the data, all of the advanced metrics, what they found out was a very simple concept. Generally, the team with the most extra base hits wins the game. So a lot of what we hear in the media talking about like launch angle and all that stuff is simply teams looking at what results in the most runs scored, what actually helps us win games. It's not about striking out more to sell out for hitting dingers. It's about what actually produces more runs and giving us the best chance to produce that more often. So again, when we look at what type of balls also results in the best types of hits, we have to consider the type of ball that we hit. Ground balls, fly balls, line drives. I'm not even gonna talk about pop-ups here. But ground balls are technically, by the book, by StatCast, and by people that monitor in the game, a ground ball is a ball hit at a launch angle under 10 degrees. That's it. Launch angle is the ball after it hits the bat. It's not before, there's no launch angle swing. It's simply what happens to the ball after it hits the bat. And the ball that's hit on the grounds has a batting average of about 240 at the big league level. Fly balls at the big league level have a lower batting average. Those are about 207, so just over 200. And that's a ball hit between 25 and 50 degrees. Okay, anything above that is a pop-up. A line drive is a ball hit with a launch angle between 10 and 25 degrees, okay? And when we look at the batting average for a line drive, batting average at the big league level is almost 600. At the college level, the batting average on line drive is 640. And at the high school level, the batting average is almost 800. So if we're looking just basic at the oldest of stats in the book, batting average, as our criteria for success or failure, hitting the ball hard and hitting line drives should be the very first priority, okay? I would also state that we should just focus on basically hitting the ball in the air. And the reason why I should be focusing on as a very basic hitting the ball in the air is because fly balls will result in more extra base hits, more doubles, more triples, and more home runs than a ground ball will. At the youth level, it's very easy to coach a player to hit ground balls because the fielders aren't very good. They don't cover a large range. But as you get older, even the worst outfield or the worst infields in the big leagues have like a 98% fielding percentage. Ground balls are a pitcher's best friend, and we should focus on hitting line drives and hard hit balls in the air if our goal is to score runs and win baseball games. Last thing we'll say about what type of batted balls leads the best results. If we're basically looking at where balls are hit, pull side, foul ball, or opposite field side, or to center field, we'd want to hit most of our balls to center fields, then to the pull side, and lastly, the opposite field, if our measurement is batting average. Of course, this changes slightly as we go down the level. I understand we're talking to a lot of youth coaches, but what we see is that the numbers may change, but the percentages still yield the same results. A ball hit into center field at the youth level is still going to give you more hits than a ball generally hit to the opposite fields. A ball hit to the pull side as well. So in conclusion, balls hit with a high exit velocity yield a higher batting average and more extra base hits and runs. Line drives result in the highest batting average, more base hits, and yield more runs in either ground balls or fly balls. So I know that's getting a little bit into the nerdy side of things, but I think it's important to simply talk about, like, what should we be focusing on as a result? What should we be telling our kids to do in order for them to have success, not only at the youth level, but at the high school, the college, and the pro level? And if we just want to go in like the very basics of terms, the very easiest for some kids to understand, the infield has 5 defenders out in front of you. The outfielders have 3. The outfield is about 3,000 square feet or 30,000 square feet at the big league level. I don't know what it is at the youth or little league level. And the infield's about 7,000 square feet. So you have 5 guys covering 7,000 square feet in the infield and 3 guys covering 30,000 square feet of grass and turf in the outfields. So our first priority here when we're working with players is, I want you to hit the ball hard over the infielder's head first. That's a line drive over the infield. Our second priority is hit the ball hard over the outfielders' heads, and third range in like our criteria of what we're trying to develop is then to hit the ball hard over the outfield fence and hit a home run. Very simple. When coaches are saying they don't believe in line drives or they don't believe in launch angle, but they do believe in line drives, essentially we're saying the same thing, just not putting a number to it. So another thing that we want to talk about is what skills that a player needs to develop in order to be successful.